Welcome to Football Conspiracies.
I'm Jared Cole.
And I'm Jared Rabinovich.
This week's episode, Offseason Conspiracy Roundup.
We're back at you with some football conspiracies this week. And obviously got to start with our inaugural question. J. Cole, what banter do you got for us today?
So this has actually been a story that for some reason developed out of nowhere. Aaron Rodgers got married.
Wait.
But
That's crazy. This is what the episode's going to be about.
Okay, well, it's honestly worthy of an episode because what's going on
here?
Yeah,
and let me preface, this isn't going to be the entire episode, but this is going to be a large portion of the episode because I went pretty far down this rabbit hole as well. Okay, I'm glad we're coming at this with equal minds for once.
All right.
Perfect.
So let's hear it from you.
Yeah, I guess this started because I felt like it had been too long since we've had a current day episode, and I really wanted to create some sort of off-season conspiracy roundup. Because as we went over before, the offseason is kind of like a dull time for NFL conspiracies, which isn't surprising, but the regular season is like a goddamn power hose, and during the offseason, that conspiracy content seems to run a little dry. That hose gets a little bit of a dribble in it. But, even if NFL players are busy golfing and kissing their sons on the lips, the internet does not get weary. The internet never gets weary. So today, I'm glad to share that we'll be spending our time, as we teased a little bit, among our contemporaries. And in my humble opinion, the most cooked generation of NFL conspiracists to ever grace this earth. So, like we alluded to before, what we want to start with, or what I would like to start with, is the Aaron Rodgers marriage story.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It is... How deep in did you dig here?
I know that, I saw a thing that was him wearing the wedding band, and he gave an interview saying that he got married, and then recently I saw a post that was according to New York Post, his family and friends don't actually believe he's married.
Perfect. Okay, you got the basis of the story. I'm glad we're able to lay it out, but let's dig in real deep. So, for anyone who's been on NFL Twitter over the past few days, which I guess I should have guessed that you would have known this because you are far deeper in the Twitterverse than I am. Sorry, the Xverse than I am.
Yeah, it's Twitter. Anyone who calls it X unironically is just, wrong.
Well, they're technically right. They're just a shill.
But, yeah, they are in the wrong.
Agreed. Regardless, anyone who's been on the NFL side of Twitter, it should be unsurprising that our podcast golden boy, Aaron Rodgers, would be making an appearance on this week's episode. Sometimes I feel like this podcast can be renamed to, Aaron Rodgers Conspiracies, and we would still never run out of content. This man cannot keep his mouth shut, and for that, I'm so grateful.
Yes, for that we say thank you.
Exactly. I don't know how many, what the percent of podcast we've done that was us talking about Aaron Rodgers, but it's probably an inordinate amount.
Yeah, a significant if you were to take all the words we've ever said,
Yeah, AI, that shit, exactly.
Made the speech,
the speech bubbles,
the bubble thing where it makes the words bigger. Yeah, Aaron
I know
Rodgers
exactly.
Would be too big.
Oh, it would be the biggest by far. Are you kidding me? That and me saying, with that being said. But I've stopped now. I hope the audience has noticed. So, when I was going down this rabbit hole, I was kind of envisioning an entertaining imaginary bit with myself of thinking of the revolving door that is the job of Aaron Rodgers' media briefer. It must have a higher turnover rate than the Trump 2016 administration.
I don't know. I feel like it's what's her name, Caroline Leavitt, where they just no matter what's going on, they can just turn it however they need to and just spin it however they can.
Yes, 100%.
They're secure in their job because they can equal the bullshit.
I guess you're right. They're probably equally as cooked as Aaron Rodgers is, so it probably doesn't make too much of a difference at the end of the day. All evens out in the wash.
Yeah, exactly.
For anyone who isn't in desperate need of touching some grass, let's get into the tale of Aaron Rodgers' marriage. Or Not marriage.
Potential marriage.
Potential marriage is a good way to put it.
Alleged marriage.
So I actually have a question in the script here where I was going to say, J. Cole, I was going to ask you if you knew that Aaron Rodgers recently found himself a blushing bride, which I guess you do.
So when I first saw that, I was like, oh, the most recent news that I know is that Aaron Rodgers is dating Shailene Woodley, so maybe they got married.
That would have been a good prediction.
Yeah, they haven't been dating for a
long time. Like well over a year, I believe.
Like very long. And I was like, okay, well, I guess there's some mystery woman out there.
Exactly. Maybe he got back with Danica Patrick. They seem like a good match in the end of the day.
I mean, honestly, they do match each other's vibes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why they ever split to begin with. Regardless, about his new blushing bride, it seems the internet doesn't quite believe that Aaron Rodgers' marriage is quite as legitimate as he might claim. One might say that the claims of Rodgers' recent marriage have been greatly exaggerated. I should note that the reason this caused so much initial suspicion is because very few people were even aware that Rodgers has a girlfriend, let alone a fiancée or a wife, as J. Cole's obvious confusion stems from. Before I get into this, I want to note that much of the reporting I'm relying on for this does come from the Daily Mail. So please do take this information with the largest grain of salt, as it is likely rather unreliable. I will also note that after digging around for more reliable reporting, this was the best I could find. So we're not working with the best of sources here. Other articles on the subject were on websites like, I shit you not, motorcyclesports.net.
I swear to God, that is a source that was referenced when I started seeing this Aaron Rodgers stuff, which did make me laugh.
In what fucking world is motorsports.net reporting on? Like, do you think it's like a connection to Danica Patrick?
No, motorcycle sports.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
it's like not even.
It's not even like that's like MotoGP. Like that's not even.
And like I feel they have cooler shit to cover than that. But from what I understand, apparently motorcyclists are like the coolest athletes ever, and apparently like are just like there to chill. Like, so it feels like maybe when they're trying to get the rumor mill going, it's kind of hard with these guys.
Yeah.
So they gotta go to, America's biggest sports golden boy, and ours as well.
And whether or not he's married.
It is a juicy story, I must say. So the tale truly begins in earnest on the day Rodgers signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. For those who have seen the photo of him signing his contract, you can see a black wedding ring, prominently displayed on his left hand's ring finger. Speculation on the topic only grew more intense when Rodgers, on his first day of practice as a Steeler, told reporters in a press conference that he had gotten married a couple months earlier. So this is not like a yesterday, Twitter just found out about it deal. Apparently this was like hidden for a while. This revelation, unsurprisingly, sparked the investigative spirits of some of the internet's most beloved armchair experts. So, what were these internet sleuths able to uncover? The first piece of information they were able to find was a clip of Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show in December of 2024.
I do say Merry Christmas, but when it comes to Christmas, so, I don't know how you guys are. AJ probably does nothing. Laura handles all of it. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Ty's probably, his wife probably does everything just like AJ. But I actually order most of my stuff online. I don't go in person. I used to enjoy like a little outing over to the Bay Park Mall in Wisconsin every now and then. But I actually order all mine online. So I was a little bit worried because there was one package left for my girlfriend Brittany that hadn't showed up yet. So I was been waiting on this to show up. It showed up today, so everything is great now. We're all set. All my stuff for the line is done. All my stuff for the QB room is done.
Yo, you can't see it, but the second he said my girlfriend Brittany, I had turned immediately. I shot at Jared. I was like, that's the one.
Yes, so there is a couple more pieces of information that is important throughout this clip, but we're not going to play it for you because as you can tell from the first 20 seconds, it is just drivel. The fact that this is nationally internationally broadcasted television is like a shame.
Yeah, I was falling asleep listening to it like in podcast form.
And then you also got like absolutely roused
And
when
then
you heard girlfriend. Exactly.
Well, I was waiting for it when they started talking about wives, like, oh, Laura does it for you, and I don't know what you do.
Exactly. Like the least entertaining talk show like television I've ever seen. But after he says girlfriend, like also you can see Pat McAfee and his co-host are like they have the exact same reaction you did.
Yeah.
They're also like, what do you mean? Like you're on my
Breaking
show all the
news.
time. How do I not know this? Then they start joking about him. Someone says how it's a Britney Spears, and he goes, "Oh, it's not Britney Spears. It's actually spelled with an I." So that's the second piece of information we have about her. It's Britney with an I at the end, which I'm not going to disparage anyone's name in case we have a Britney on here.
IY or
No. Like it is assumed that he meant like BRITTANI. That is what is like written in articles I've seen in a few places.
Okay.
Regardless, but the other really important fact that we learn about this Britney is that she does not have social media. This explains a lot.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's beginning to become clear why this story was necessary for us to cover. And that really was prompted by the fact that the internet's most talented stalkers were unable to unearth the identity of this mystery woman who we now know is named Britney. Due to the lack of verifiable information on this Britney woman, many people began to claim that either Rodgers and Britney are not actually married, or, more entertainingly, Britney isn't real at all, just my girlfriend in Canada, which is hilarious. The Daily Mail even claims that multiple sources told them that they are beginning to question the veracity of the marriage, as J. Cole referenced earlier. Just a quick digression, though, to comment on the editorial standards of the Daily Mail. I just want to read for J. Cole to read this quote of where this fact was found in the Daily Mail, and I can explain why the Daily Mail is even more drivel than that shit we are listening to on the Pat McAfee show.
The news of Rodgers' marriage caught several members of his family and friends off guard, and this week multiple sources told DailyMail.com that they are beginning to question if it genuinely happened.
Okay, so I think like...
Yeah, I saw that exact quote was copied into some like Instagram...
Absolutely. And off the bat, like that doesn't seem very like misleading or whatever, but we're going to turn into a media criticism show for 1 second because I'm pissed off about this. You cannot say the news of Rodgers' marriage caught several members of his family and friends off guard, and then follow that with multiple sources told the Daily Mail, because that makes you think that those multiple sources were family and friends. But the Daily Mail was very keen to separate those by a comma, making it such that it is just random sources. It is not actually his family and friends who said that. It was just sources, and those sources could have been me, or Dan from Buckingham, or any other schmo that we pull off the street.
Damn, sneaky.
Yes. So this is something that's like, should be looked out at when looking at sources, equivalent or lower than the Daily Mail. But this is some literature trickery that I do not fuck with. So at this point, with the allegations mounting, some outlets began doing some gumshoe reporting, mostly the Daily Mail, and here is what they found. The Daily Mail reports that they got in contact with a clerk from the Pennsylvania county where Rodgers is rumored to have moved. The clerk informed them that no marriage had been registered for Aaron Rodgers. They then went to the Las Vegas county, thinking, maybe they just got like a quick wedding in Las Vegas, and county officials told them the same thing, that no Aaron Rodgers marriage registration exists. Obviously, this is pretty weak information, if I had to say, because this is a Pennsylvania county he's rumored to have been from, and this is Las Vegas. Like, he could have gotten married literally anywhere else, but nevertheless, it adds some, at least, concrete facts to this story that is so far just allegation. When a source close to Rodgers' brother, whom Rodgers famously has a fraught relationship with, was asked about the matter, he answered this way.
Jordan and JoJo didn't go to the wedding and don't even know anything really about Britney. What they've heard is secondhand from his parents.
So,
which, I mean, if you have a bad relationship with your brother, that's how you would get information.
Exactly. The quote actually goes on to something like, about, like, why would you show up to, like, Aaron Rodgers didn't show up to his wedding. It was like, why would I show up to his? Like, it's like salacious stuff that I don't want to get into because I have no reason to be like dredging up their like personal lives in that way. But this is a public story, and I'm just going to stick with like things that I don't think are unsavory, if you will.
Yeah.
But what is interesting about this quote, even though like it is once again totally unreliable, if true, it is interesting that his brother had heard nothing about it, but they've heard secondhand things from his parents, which means that, like, oh, maybe she is a real person if her parents know.
His parents are making comments about her.
Exactly.
So it's seeming very plausible that he's married.
That is the much more substantive piece I want to take from this quote. The fact that his parents
acknowledged that she's real because he's received secondhand information from his parents.
You're understanding. That's the only reason I wanted this quote.
Yeah, that's why I'm going, like, very plausible, as before I was like, Aaron's faking it, what a loser. And now he's like, oh, dude might actually be married.
And you'll see the conclusion of this, which I think actually is, like, pretty believable. But we're getting there. The Daily Mail's reporting on this ends with the conclusion that insiders claim they are unconvinced the marriage is real, and rather, and here's the conclusion, they think they have been in a more, quote-unquote, symbolic commitment ceremony than a typical wedding, which would be the most Aaron Rodgers thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that is very definitely it. Like, just doing some, like, spiritual connection, quote-unquote, marriage.
They probably, like, did ayahuasca, had a threesome with a wood nymph, and now they're married, you know? Like,
it's marriage in nothing but name, you know?
Exactly. They're winos. But I did think that we should go into Reddit and see if they had some choice words for us. So I did pick up some good comments that I thought were worth dredging up because I love some people dishing it out on Reddit because they're absolutely brutal on there. So you/Gong Yu fan said, "Is she a trad wife?" Which that's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't surprise me, Aaron Rodgers, you know?
Exactly. You/think_please said exactly what I was thinking when I first read this, which is she goes to a different school in Canada.
In Canada. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And lastly, and I have to compliment this guy on his handle, you/the jerk store called. He said, or they said, you don't have to announce in a marriage if it is to yourself.
That is also true.
Which, that, for someone
possible.
On the level of egotism as Aaron Rodgers is, you would never know.
Possible.
You never know. And like I mentioned earlier, there is some more content on this marriage situation that I simply don't feel comfortable with going over on this show. Much of it is quite malicious or invasive into their personal lives, and I have no interest in that. But in terms of the entertaining bits of the story, I think we put together a rather comprehensive retelling. Well, this is the end of the story of Aaron Rodgers' potential marriage, at least for the purpose of this podcast. This will not be the end of Aaron Rodgers news in our off-season conspiracy roundup that we're doing right now, because he has been running his stupid little mouth lately.
Well, his most recent comment I saw was that this is officially his last season. He's hanging up the cleats after this one.
I actually did not see that.
Yep, this is the farewell tour for Aaron Rodgers.
He only has to tank one more team before he leaves.
I know, it's crazy. It's like this is going to be the first time the Steelers don't have a winning season in God knows how long, because Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
Like, I don't know why they thought in any world it was an intelligent idea to hire that man, considering his last year's performance. But you know what? They made that decision, and I'm not a Steelers fan, so I'm happy to see it happen.
Yeah, I don't cheer against the Steelers, but I don't root for them.
Exactly. Like, there's other teams I certainly would have rathered see Aaron Rodgers at the helm at, but it's not the Bills, so I'm okay. So the next two stories that we're going to be speaking about come from a source that's a little weird. I know this is odd, but this comes from the Times of India.
The Times of India,
yes.
Because they always have the exclusive insider on the NFL.
Exactly.
You know?
I will admit, I did not do my due diligence to see if this was a real news publication or not.
Times of India.
I was just so entertained that an Indian publication was covering this at all. But here we are. I don't even know if it's an Indian publication, to be honest. It might be like a publication targeted towards the Indian diaspora, but nevertheless, here we are, sourcing from the Times of India. Never thought we'd be here on this show. The first story relates to a conspiracy that Rodgers has previously peddled, and this is about Bluetooth.
Okay.
After his signing with the Steelers, an old clip from 2023 resurfaced where he's speaking with his former Jets teammate, Zach Wilson. In this exchange, Zach Wilson is telling him about how people were making fun of him after Rodgers was spotted wearing wired earbuds.
Okay.
You know, as opposed to AirPods.
AirPods or, like...
What the cool kids wear. Exactly. What the broccoli heads are wearing these days. To this comment, Rodgers responded this.
You mean the ones that protect my brain from harmful electromagnetic emissions? I mean, he's not wrong.
No, that's the issue. He definitely is wrong. No, that's the main issue. So this was obviously in reference to yet another conspiracy theory Aaron Rodgers believes in, that Bluetooth is infecting us and harming our brains. This is in line, for people who might find this more familiar, with the 5G conspiracy theories that were popularized during the COVID pandemic. This is very much like, these invisible electromagnetic waves that are in the air, because I don't understand them, they must be infecting me and my children. It's very like woo-woo bullshit that people who don't understand technology seem to fall under. It seems really logical if you're 60 and didn't grow up with the internet, but as someone who did grow up with the internet, it's some silly bullshit. Like, do you think the Wi-Fi in your house is killing you?
Killing you.
Does Aaron Rodgers not use Wi-Fi? No, of course he does.
No.
I definitely haven't heard him say anything about that. Maybe he avoids 5G, but I don't understand why 5G is more harmful than Wi-Fi. Obviously, I know the conspiracy theories about the towers and all these like big companies and telecoms that are in on it, but I don't understand why those big companies and telecoms would be so in on 5G and not Wi-Fi. Like, the real conspiracy would be that Wi-Fi is the thing that's harming you, and they've tricked you to think that 5G is the real one. Like,
bro,
if these
that's the conspiracy.
Yeah, like, if people were at all competent, conspiracy theorists aren't even good creative writers. Like, I could write better conspiracies than the shit these guys come up with. At least these crazy guys like David Icke who think lizard people are real, at least they're entertaining, you know? At least there's some juice
They're coming
there.
up with some original thoughts.
Exactly. I want some grizzle on that steak, and like, he's given that to me at the very least. It's crazy and he's a nut job, but at least I can read his shit without being bored. Like, I don't even understand how these guys read some of this stuff. It's crazy. I digress, though. Back to our AirPods Bluetooth conspiracy theory, I would like to note first and foremost that health risks posed by Bluetooth and AirPods and other wireless earbuds has long been refuted by experts, or in other words, people who actually know what they're talking about, unlike Aaron
The
Rodgers.
science is fake, bro.
I mean, you're sounding like Rodgers now a little bit too.
I mean, maybe he's onto something. You never know. You never know.
You're right. No,
Just
you're right. I do never know. Like, I don't know that for sure.
Think about it.
But I feel it in my bones. Like, I truly do. This clip resurfacing all came in the wake of a rather controversial podcast episode that when Aaron Rodgers went on the Joe Rogan Experience, which I'm sure we're all familiar with.
Oh yeah, that's quite the podcast.
It is quite the podcast. Well, he made many absurd claims throughout his appearance, you know, as one does when they're on the Joe Rogan podcast, apparently. The one claim that seemed to rise above the noise, at least enough to catch the attention of reporters at the Times of India, was Rodgers' suggestion that HIV was engineered by the US government in order to make a profit. What's your initial reaction to that one?
It's a very shitty-ass way to make a profit.
Thank you. My first thought, too.
And there are so many better ways to make a profit.
Than killing off your customers?
There are so many better diseases you could use to make money.
Mm-hmm. You don't say. There's, like, so many issues with this that, like, I can't even begin. But I will, obviously.
Well, I mean, before 2024, the U.S. was putting so much money into solving and curing HIV that they were, like, 10 years away. Like, less than 10 years away from curing HIV.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, that's nuts.
Yeah, well, 2024.
Yeah.
So-
R.I.P. to the House, the Health and Human Services. Oh my God.
I know.
He could have been the head of that could have been our president and Aaron Rodgers our VP.
Like, I honestly, but we dodged a bullet on that one.
You don't say. You don't say. Like, I could imagine one ticket that'd be more incompetent than the one we see right now.
Only one.
Only one.
And it was a possibility.
It was on the table. But no, Aaron Rodgers had to come back for one more year and destroy one more team's legacy. And his own, obviously.
His own, of course.
But either way, on the Joe Rogan podcast, while he was going on this screed about the engineering of HIV, this is what Rodgers had to say.
The blueprint, the game plan, was made in the 80s. Create a pandemic with a virus that's going wild. Fauci was given over $350 million to research this, to come up with drugs, new or repurposed, to handle the AIDS pandemic. And all they came up with was AZT. If you do any research, and I know that I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not a doctor. I can read though. I can learn and look at things and look things up. Just like any normal person. I can do my own research, which is so vilified. Question authority. That was the game plan back then.
So when you read it, like, that was brilliant, because when I read it in my head, it was more just like in like a regular podcasty voice, but the way you read it sounded like a guy like pitching a script in Hollywood. Like, this can be some good shit. Like, I'd watch that.
You do any research, and I'm no epidemiologist, and I'm no doctor.
He just said it. Like, he literally just said it.
I'm gonna explain to you medical and epidemiology.
Yes, exactly. And just a quick note for those who aren't familiar, AZT is a drug that was created during the HIV pandemic back in the 80s, which was used as like a sort of treatment for it. It wasn't terribly effective, but it is actually part of the concoction of treatments that are currently used today. So like, it genuinely was helpful. It just wasn't the best thing ever. It was just what they had at the time, and it was better than nothing. Yeah,
exactly. It's sort of that thing where,
Exactly. Yeah. Like, it's better than nothing. That being said, not according to Aaron Rodgers. Okay, and back to this, like, question authority, I'm not a doctor, I'm an epidemiologist shit. Like, the exact same things that pissed you off, J. Cole, about this pissed me off. Because I am not one. Anyone who knows me knows I am not one to oppose questioning authority. As a matter of fact, I'm a huge proponent of it. But questioning authority and doing your own research is completely different from reading an internet meme and taking it as fact, especially when that meme was almost certainly not written by an epidemiologist or a doctor. If he truly did want to listen to those experts, he would have never come to this conclusion to begin with. Right? He references who the experts are, and then he completely ignores everything they have ever said on the topic. It should be noted that the way the US handled the AIDS pandemic was horrifying at best and downright evil at worst. But that does not mean they created it in a lab to make profits. If their government was so desperate to make profits, it seems a much more reliable and convenient way to do, something like, I don't know, like raise taxes. Like, it's not that hard for the government to make money. Half of their job is collecting it.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to think that. And also, just the use of the term profit in government is insane, because the government makes, I know this might be shocking to some people, $0 in profit a year.
It actually loses money.
A significant amount. That whole, like, conversation about, like, national debt? That's the money they're losing. Exactly. Governments are built to lose money so they can serve us. Like, it's so simple, and he's so blind to just, like, how, like, it feels like he needs to take a grade 5 civics course. You can also hear the conspiracy dog whistles in his comments from a mile away. The fact that Fauci is the boogeyman in every theory is quite suspicious, and should be unsurprising to anyone familiar with many of the popular COVID conspiracies. On this note, Rodgers attempted to connect this theory to the COVID pandemic later on in the show when he said this.
Back then, it was AZT. Now it's remdesivir until we get a vaccine. Which, by the way, Anthony Fauci had a stake in the Moderna vaccine. And we know Pfizer is the one most criminally corrupt organizations ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Hog wild shit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, first of all, this comment about Fauci's connection to Moderna is patently false.
Obviously.
This is like an actual conspiracy theory. Like, when Moderna originally was given the contract to create the COVID vaccines, theories started cropping up claiming that Fauci was the first ever CEO of Moderna. Unsurprisingly, it is not difficult to figure out that this isn't the case.
The first ever CEO of Moderna?
Hear me out. That's not the craziest thing. Like, Reuters actually looked into this and found, like, obviously quite literally zero connection between Fauci and Moderna. But the idea is that, the patently false bit of it is so clear because Fauci has been working for the NIH for his entire, before he retired, his entire career. He graduated and went in there, I believe, in the 80s. Like, has been there since, it was like 70s or 80s, either way. Has been a lifelong government worker. Moderna was created in 2010. Like, this is a new company, and Fauci is like a well-documented, high-up, very prominent government worker. Like, when did he have the time to become the CEO of Moderna in there?
That's crazy.
It's so ridiculous. I swear to God, I can make a TikTok where I claim that Jared Cole was the first ever CEO of Moderna, and you would become the new conspiracy boogeyman.
Well, me, Jared Cole, or the darts player, Jared Cole?
Oh, damn, I forgot about the darts player, Jared Cole. No, I want to make you famous.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it. He already is famous.
Exactly. I'm going to make you more famous because you're going to be the first CEO of Moderna ever. You're going to be the reason why these vaccines are infecting our children.
Do I get paid like the CEO of Moderna?
Fuck no! When it comes to Rodgers' comments about Pfizer, I actually deeply sympathize. I'm ardently against Big Pharma, and I firmly believe that they have done little but bring horrors to this world. However, I'm not saying this from a wacky conspiracy point of view. One of the only good things Pfizer has ever done was create the COVID vaccine. I have tons of things to say about their price gouging and other malicious practices that hurt the normal, working American people. But this, unlike Aaron Rodgers, does not make me want to believe in pseudoscience. I believe that they can have talented scientists, and do, who are creating life-saving medicines, while also understanding that the corporate side of the company is far more interested in their profit motive than the motivation of saving lives. Aaron, if you're trying to look for someone who's looking for profits, you should be looking to Pfizer or one of these companies and not the US government. But sure, Aaron, it seems like doing your own research is going great for you. Keep it up, dog. You are truly brightening the minds of our youth. Thank you for your service. Man, I feel like I'm going to be like Plato in the Apology after this fucking episode. God damn.
That reference was too smart for me.
They're going to make me drink hemlock because I was poisoning the minds of the youth.
I see.
I understand. It was a little deep. I apologize. The last story I want to bring up today is short, sweet, and mind-numbingly stupid, making it perfect fodder for this show. And in even better news, Aaron Rodgers' name isn't going to come up once.
Oh, thank God.
We are done with that. We can move on. It's back to some beautiful, clear skies and dumb conspiracies.
I feel like after 30 minutes of talking about Aaron Rodgers, like, I have to move on. Like, I can't do it anymore.
No, like, I want to commit to you guys that we're not going to speak about Aaron Rodgers for the next few weeks, but that man yaps.
He'll pop up somehow.
Exactly. That man yaps, we have to yap about him. So it's the primary directive of this podcast, and I'm not giving up on that.
Yeah, you never know. We might even meet Brittany.
Oh, I mean, she doesn't have social media, and she goes to school in Canada, so I mean, like, it's kind of hard to find her. So this last story is a theory I came across from this episode's favorite publication, the Daily Mail, from a reporter named Eric Blum. The article is titled, "Shocking Conspiracy Theory Shows Why Carolina Panthers Will Go to the Super Bowl." J. Cole, first of all, I would love your reaction on the Carolina Panthers making it to the Super Bowl, but more importantly, I want your take on why. Why are they going to the Super Bowl?
Okay, well, first of all, they're not. The Bucks are going to be the team from the NFC that makes it to the Super Bowl.
That is not the answer I wanted, but sure.
And why? I'm going to say it is because they drafted the exact same positions that they did in whatever year
No.
in the
No,
past
dig
or
deeper.
some shit.
Dig so much deeper.
They're owners, dogs, Walker is friends with a guy who knows that they're gonna win.
Well, that is totally not right. It has the same energy of what we're about to speak of. You nailed the head on the vibe of this conspiracy theory. I will say, real quick, before I tell you this beautiful fucking reveal, it's truly, this is one of my favorite finds in a long time. I will say that this article was quite poorly written. Not talking bad on you, Eric Blum. I'm sure you're a wonderful writer for the Daily Mail.
No, apparently not. If
But
he's writing this for the Daily Mail.
Yeah, and it was pretty hard to follow, to say the least. There was two pieces of this theory as to why the Panthers were going to win. And the first one I literally couldn't follow after reading this article over. It's a short article, but I read it over and over and over again, and I could not wrap my head around it. It had something to do with the Ohio State, the team, the Buckeyes. It had something to do with their coach. I could not put it together. But I did glean the more important aspect of this article, the one that was just so brilliant I could not skip out on it. We will now quote from the article to help explain this theory.
The 2003 and 2015 season saw the Panthers reach the Super Bowl only to lose to a Tom Brady quarterbacked New England Patriots team and the Denver Broncos, led by Peyton Manning. Lopez.
Lopez as in Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, this is J-Lo we're talking about.
Oh, J-Lo split from Chris Judd in 2003, and her divorce from singer Mark Anthony was finalized in 2014. In January, her high-profile romance and reconciliation with Ben Affleck came to an end.
Yes, you are understanding. This article is dead-ass claiming that the divorce of Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck will be the reason why the Panthers make it to the Super Bowl this year.
That's insane logic.
No, it's truly genius.
He's got to be on something to figure out that,
Oh, for sure.
That goes deeper than those Sports Center
stats, yeah.
That are just this guy hit this ball this degree only this many times in this stadium on this day when it was this degree.
Yeah, it's somehow more useless than that.
Yeah,
which
that's crazy.
I'm shocked we could get more useless than that. I thought we found the bottom of the barrel with these Sports Center statisticians, but no, we have Eric Blum, the absolute king of our generation.
Yeah,
get this man on my podcast right now. I want to speak with him because his brain is probably full of the best theories we could possibly find.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yes, it's truly brilliant. The best part is think of I can't name any off the top of my head. And it was a pretty weird Google search, and I couldn't really come up with anything from it as well. But think about how many things have only happened in 2003 and 2015. There's probably so many things that have only happened in 2003 and 2015. Were those also caused by J-Lo's divorces?
Oh my god. Or maybe those things
caused
J-Lo's divorces.
We need to follow the money here. What actually is the reason the Panthers were in the Super Bowl?
Well, you know what? It could be a chain of effect thing. They only make the Super Bowl when J-Lo gets a divorce, but J-Lo only gets a divorce when this other thing happens.
That's actually incredible.
Yeah, there's this chain. We gotta follow.
No,
right. We gotta.
The year of the midterm, the year before the midterms, every 12 years. It's the most insane craziness ever. I love it. It's brilliant. Eric Blum, you're my king, and I truly, I've not found a story I've liked this much or enjoyed this much for months on this podcast.
Yeah, that's funny.
My lungs needed no fresh air breathed in, and you just made me feel like I inhaled a puffer, Brog. I love you, truly. Thank you, Eric Blum. And yes, for all of you out there, I plan to dig further into the writings of Eric Blum with the hope that he has at least one other straight banger like this.
Yeah, he's got to have something in his
Absolutely.
cache, you know?
So I think we just got to end off with like a big thank you to our boy Eric Blum and our writers down at the Times of India. Thank you so much. You guys,
a big fuck you to Aaron Rodgers.
and a big fuck you to Aaron Rodgers.
All right, folks, welcome to the end of the podcast where I bring you some crazy conspiracy. And
Wow.
I
Your
got
intro's
some
gotten
crazy
tight.
conspiracy.
This is nice. No, I feel like we're a well-oiled machine today. This is good. This is good.
All right. I have a post here from the NFL Mike, a big boy of ours. And he's going to tell us why all of these teams I'm about to list are not going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, understood.
So we're going to start this off. Jared, you really have to be thinking, okay? If you really think about it.
Okay, really thinking about it.
You really think about it. No team has ever won the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, and no rookie head coach has ever won the Super Bowl.
Don't need to think about it. Looked it up. I know that's true.
Yeah, so the Titans are eliminated because they just took Cam Ward first overall. The Jaguars are eliminated because they got Duval as their new head coach.
Obviously, I was like, who the hell is this guy? Okay, yeah.
Obviously, you're not on the internet.
No, I'm sorry that I'm not like drinking the spout made with us by Elon Musk.
No, this is like when they announced it. Like, yeah, okay, I'm not getting into it. So the Lions coordinator left for the Jets. So Jets are out of here. And the Bears got a first-year head coach, so they're gone.
Okay.
The Saints are running with their second-round pick, so...
Are they really?
They're out of here. And the Cleveland Browns are most likely to be running with Shedeur Sanders, another rookie.
Yes,
so
yes.
The Cleveland Browns are out of here, too. And it looks like Dallas is going to be missing out on another year because they got a rookie head coach.
No, not Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, all the NFL fans are going to be so... They're America's team, though.
I know. It's truly a shame. So those are all the rookie head coaches and rookie quarterbacks and those teams that are eliminated. Now, I'm going to list the teams that aren't going to win the Super Bowl because the trophy has never been won by a team with 0 Pro Bowlers or all pros the previous season.
Okay, that's kind of a crazy stat.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but...
No, like, you need a veteran on your team to win the Super Bowl, I guess the idea.
You need a star veteran, kind of, is the goal.
Understood.
So that eliminates the Miami Dolphins, that eliminates the LA Rams, and that eliminates the Seahawks.
Okay.
Now, we're going to use some NFL Mike logic here. Okay.
Oh, that's my favorite type of logic.
We're going to knock off the bottom 7 teams that in the ranking of penalties. So these okay, let me rephrase that. Sorry.
No, I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
the 7 most penalized teams.
There you go.
But is that like a thing? Has it never happened that one of the 7 most penalized teams have won the Super Bowl before?
Well, the last most penalized team to win the Super Bowl was Pete Carroll's Seahawks, but
the Seahawks already got eliminated.
The Seahawks are already eliminated.
Understood. This is truly some NFL Mike logic.
Yeah, so the Texans are out of here, and the Ravens are out of here. And we also got the Falcons and the Cardinals and the Chargers, who the Chargers are also going to lose for a different reason, too.
So just to clarify, the NFL Mike, when he made this video, was he referring to... Like, what the Seahawks that won, they were one of the 7 most penalized teams, or they won those 7 penalized teams the year before? Because right now he's talking about the year before.
Jared.
It's NFL Mike. I shouldn't be thinking this about it. You're right.
We're not logicking it.
You really did start this with, if you really think about it, and now I'm really thinking about it, so this is your fault.
Nah, you're right. I did ask you to think about it. The Chargers, who are going to lose for that reason, are also going to lose because they have the longest distance traveled this year.
Is that a thing, or is it just some NFL Mike bullshit that I want to throw in?
That's a NFL Mike bullshit thing that he wanted to throw in.
Understood. Cool. Perfect. Great. Yeah. This guy rocks.
Yeah. So we also have to add the Eagles because, the Eagles aren't going to win after just winning the Super Bowl. And teams with bottom 7 defenses aren't going to make the Super Bowl the next year. Aren't going to win the Super Bowl the next year.
This is so ass backwards.
Yeah,
Sometimes
bro.
I want to say some things about the NFL Mike that would legally need to be bleeped out. So
Yeah, so we're getting rid of the Colts, we're getting rid of the 49ers, we're getting rid of the Bengals. Bro, he has a reason for why basically no team is making it
because
going to win the Super Bowl.
This is like the most anti-scientific method thing ever. Because this guy was like, okay, let's come up with a conclusion about 2 teams that could win the Super Bowl and find the most crazy logic that would get us to a place in which that is the case. He is a wonder. He truly is. Like, the amount of effort that he goes through to find these stats and create these videos, he could actually be